My name is Monica, and I'll be presenting on the topic of how the brain functions during stress reduction. Stress reduction is associated with less anxiety and greater attentional ability. You can relax by setting aside 45 minutes each morning for what's called open presence. It involves being fully aware of whatever is in the dominant object in the mind at a given moment, whether a bodily sensation, an emotion, a thought, or an external stimulus, but without letting it take over your consciousness. So it's focusing on that one particular object and being able to be mindful and, just think of that one object. Mentioned, this part of the continuum is marked by difficulty shaking off anger, sadness, or other negative emotion after a loss or setback. So in this part of resilient dimension, it's when you're upset and you're not able to shake off that, that feeling so fast, right? So using the stress reduction techniques and meditation, such as compassion, this can help you in moments like this when you're not able to shake off that anger. On the other hand, though, there is the extremely resilient people who lack the motivation to overcome challenges. So for example, they'll be like, oh, don't worry, be happy. But then they're not solving the problem that they're going through. They're more of just moving past it without really solving it. So having that compassion for yourself in both dimensions helps you to understand the situation that you're in and to better then move forward, or whenever you see the same situation again, you will be able to face it differently. I have a question. When was the last time any one of you practiced stress reduction?
Yeah, I can share. The stress reduction part is so necessary. I think I was just having deep breathing this morning when I was a bit stressed. Oh, by the way, Monica, your slides are not moving again.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Let me try and move them. Did it move now?
Sorry.
Is it moving?
Someone else need to say something.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. So in terms of how often you should practice stress reduction, it's really up to you. Some people benefit from sitting once every day, while others prefer a short session in the morning and another in the evening. And also, it also depends with your schedule. So just finding time and space to be able to self-reduct or be able to, to practice mindfulness definitely helps with stress reduction. It can also give you a sense of calm, peace, and balance that can benefit both your emotional well-being and your overall health. So it is very important to practice. It is a very important practice to have. So there are many types of relaxation, and one that you can there are many types of relaxations, and there's actually one that you can actually bring yourself to a state where you are neither sleeping or relaxing. And this state is called langmatan. It's a mental state in which you're not sleeping or meditating, but are not particularly attentive to anything either. It is quite interesting because it is characterized by not trying to do any particular task and not being disturbed by any strong emotions or thoughts at the same time. It is described as a state of neutral indifference. So this type of relaxation is good when you're trying to measure one's mind during relaxation. Maybe you're trying to measure like how many thoughts you can have during your relaxation. So you can use this technique, Langmatan, to be able to measure where you're at and how your mind is functioning. Does anyone, do you know by any chance if compassion is a type of stress reduction? So compassion, feeling okay with where you're at, being compassionate with yourself. Do you think that that is a type of stress reduction? Anyone?
Compassion, maybe.
Compassion means, okay.
Maybe when if you're talking to someone doing something compassionately, it can help you with the stress reduction, maybe.
Definitely. So you're right, compassion is definitely a type of stress reduction. There are different types of stress reduction techniques that can help you, such as compassion meditation. So during this time, the brain functions also differ because there's so many different ways you can, relieve yourself from stress. And, being okay with where you're at, being compassionate with yourself, not being too hard on yourself, will also reduce you from having stress. So there are different types of meditation. There's focused intention, which cultivates attentional control and monitoring skills. This is the type of meditation you're focused on one object. So you're just thinking, say you want to think of a relaxation, maybe your relaxation spot is the beach. So you just focus on the sounds of the beach, the waves, and in that way you're able to just relax. There's also devotion meditation, which is defined as being loyal or dedication or love for someone or something. In the context of yoga, for example, they use this as a spiritual path where you have deep love and commitment to a higher self, or maybe to definitely like a higher self, and you do this meditation by maybe reading a spiritual book. That is what's called devotion meditation. So during this time of devotion meditation, there's strong activation in the visual cortex, because you're very much focused on that person that you love, who you are, for instance, praying to, so you're really focusing on that and visualizing that. And in focused attention, this is the classical network of attention areas, which includes the prefrontal, and also those areas are also activated. There's also, like I mentioned prior, that compassion is the type of meditation where the insular and the motor cortex are highly activated as well. So compassion meditation helps feelings of sadness and anger to be removed and feeling of compassion to arise. A man who had experienced violence started to use compassion meditation. The sadness and despair and anger that they initially had because of the violence that they had experienced was removed, and it gave way a little more each day to a feeling of compassion. So using this type of compassion helped them remove the anger and the bitterness that they had experienced. Although they will not forget it, but each day they were able to give way, to be okay in a certain way. The outlook dimension, these are the people who see the positive in everything. Sorry, they have the ability to maintain the positive in everything as well. So they cannot sustain the pessimist cannot sustain happiness. The capacity to remain upbeat, to sustain positive emotion over time, is the key measure of the outlook dimension. So if you can't maintain, because the key word here is maintain, if you cannot maintain the feeling of being positive every time, then you would be you won't be in the outlook dimension. So this is an emotional style as well. So the key characteristics for this dimension is definitely maintain. It measures not whether you can feel joy, but how well you can keep that feeling alive. So a lot of people do try to be on the outlook, to have the outlook dimension every time, and it's not a lot of people that are able to do that. But if you're able to maintain that feeling, a lot of people definitely gravitate towards you as well, and you tend to be more happier and more healthier as well. So mental training can have the power to cultivate positive qualities of mind. Mental training can have the power to cultivate positive thoughts, positive emotions as well. As for example, for Buddhists have been long taught how to be positive in everything, and there are great examples of how how to share compassion, how to share love and kindness into the world. And once you have that ability to train your mind, to train your thoughts to think positive, that will also affect the people that are around you, and positivity will definitely move everywhere that you're at. And this will also help in stress reduction. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Monica. So everyone, if you want to check out our website, it's healingconnectionhc.com. We're here to support, educate, and advocate for better mental health. Thank you. Bye for now.